Hello. Welcome to my thoughts. My name is Yvonne, for some of you that don't know, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I'd be sharing my thoughts, emotions, and guidance. It is Thursday, May 2nd, 10:30 in the morning, and the weather is beautiful here in Tucson. So we're in Taurus season now. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people are still in Aries mood. Aries is a fire sign, and we just finished Aries season, and we are now officially in Taurus season, who is an earth sign. And how I know everyone is still, in their fire, in their flames, is because of how many people I've been reading and where they are and what they're struggling with. Not everyone, but most. See, Taurus season is about... Taurus is very nurturing in the home. They're a perfect wifey, they're a perfect hubby, quote unquote. But not only because they love, but because they actively show their love. As a Leo, being a fire sign, I tend to struggle with being grounded, but I think for the first time this Taurus season, I was able to really acknowledge the groove that this Taurus season carries, and it keeps pulling me back on earth, When I say that, I don't mean like physically, well, no shit, I'm here on earth, but mentally and emotionally, I tend to get really high up there because of my passion from being a fire sign. And my moon is a Cancer, so I tend to get over analytical with my emotions as well. But being pulled down to earth has helped me understand what is around me, who's around me, and after I, understand who's around me and what's around me, I then ask, what and where am I investing my energy in? This can be with work, this can be with family, this can be with friends, this can be with strangers, not only humans, but this can be with habits, this can be with hobbies, this can be with materialistic, subjects. It's about reevaluating it all this month, up until we get to Gemini season at the end of this month, into June. But we won't get into that just yet. I think it's time to really, really ask yourself, hey, are you here? Ask yourself to ask things, nouns. I've been telling some of the girls that some of the women, I shouldn't say girls because we're, women now. That's so weird to say. I always feel like I'm still a kid at heart, but, ultimately we are women. I'm almost 30, in a few years. I shouldn't exaggerate, but in a few years. And that kind of freaks me out because I still feel so young and I still feel like I have to accomplish so much. But you know what? So much can happen in a few years. Some of the women I was talking to and reading cards with and just getting to know, I was able to recognize how they view their surroundings, and it made me feel a little more part as one, because I think we all struggle with the same issue, with love. Ultimately, we struggle with the idea of love, and we struggle with the actual feeling of love. When we struggle with the idea rather than actually feeling it, we tend to be afraid. We tend to hold back through situations and people from trauma and past events, that have changed us and molded us and conditioned us to, walk on eggshells when it comes up to love with that feeling, And in some cases, it can translate to anger and short temper, because, that's the only way they know how to protect themselves. And then there are those that struggle with the actual feeling of love because they love too deeply, because they haven't understood how important it is to be aware of being grounded, and it all ties in together. I tend to be pulled back and forth, My love gets me so far and it makes me see so much, and it gets me excited, and then I start planning, and then I start thinking and visualizing, and I start believing. And I've done that without really being grounded, and I never understood how important that was, being grounded. Sorry if you can hear the dishes in the background. My mom's in the kitchen, being wifey, being mom. My advice to those who are too grounded or those who are not grounded enough is to find balance, of course. Write down all the things. For those who are too grounded and need to channel what they truly love so they can understand it's safe to love those things and expand, further with their love, I advise to write down all the things you enjoy. Every noun, It's like I told these women, write down every noun. And acknowledge how these nouns don't have power over you. If anything, they influence power. Let me repeat that. They don't have power over you. These people, these hobbies, these traumatic events, even the negativity. Let's look at the darkness. Write it all down. Even if you love darkness, write it down. Not because you purposely love darkness, but because you're conditioned to. And because you're afraid to let it go. You're afraid. Some people are afraid to let go of their darkness because that's all they know. They're afraid of the light because they're, stuck in this way of thinking that if they reach out to the light, which is everything that brings them happiness, it would only bring more darkness, which is what brings them the opposite of happiness, right? Write it all down. And not just one day. Write every day. You're ever changing. We are ever changing. I'm not the same person I was the beginning of this year. I'm not the same person I was even a month ago. I'm ever changing. And I love that. And I love that I see people around me ever changing with me. Not everyone, because I do notice those that stay in their comfort zone. And I don't judge them. I think life is about teaching us different levels of awareness, and it is up to us to learn from them and grow from them rather than stay fixed and try to fix or just judge. It keeps us stuck, and it keeps us from growing. I want to thank you for listening to this. I finally had time from working so much because my job has been giving me more hours than usual, and finally this week I was able to get 3 days off in a row, and it gave me a chance to buy this microphone, which I hope sounds nice, and just get started with this, I know iTunes is definitely a platform for podcasts, and I will get one. Eventually I will create a podcast on iTunes eventually, but I think YouTube for now is an easier and more accessible platform for many, for my Android users, for my, for my peeps who just want to quickly put on a YouTube video, as they clean, as they write, as they exercise, as they do anything, as they stay actively grounded. This is a really chill video. Actually, I tend to be a lot more, vibrant. if we were to explain that in the form of colors. A lot more vibrant and a lot more energetic, but I think with this Taurus season and with everything that's been going on with all of you in your lives, and with where the planets are, we're having a new moon today in Aries. I think that's perfect because it lets us clean the slate with our passions, clean the slate with our emotions towards our passions. Use this day today to kind of, set the intention that from now on, you will solely focus on investing your emotions towards the passions that feed your soul. that feed your purpose. That feed strength and inner growth and, all of it. I've been really, really tired lately. Like, my body needs a lot of rest, and it's not because I've been working physically hard. My job's not that hard, I'm a cashier. I like it. There's usually a lot to do. Keeps me busy, mentally, which is nice. But I've been tired more emotionally, which makes my body feel tired. And these past 3 days, all I've been wanting to do is just sleep. Maybe it has to do also that I just got my monthly gift, and if that's TMI, I'm sorry. For all my women, you understand. It tires you out, and it forces you to kind of just want to stay in bed and just not do so much. I do crave a lot of sweets, but anyway, that's besides the point. So I've been telling myself to work out, because I know how the body works. I know how the brain works. I do a few stretches in the morning, enough to warm up the body, the muscles. And then if I feel up for it after stretching for a while, I lift up a couple weights and just, challenge myself to a little bit more strength exercises. It's nice, because once I'm done, I'm like, oh yeah, I thought I was tired before. Now I'm really, really relaxed. Yet relaxed to the point where I can, be happy about it. There's a difference, of being happily relaxed or depressed and relaxed, or depressed and tired. I shouldn't say relaxed. There's a difference of being happy and tired and depressed and tired. There's a huge difference. And for a long time, for many years, I would be depressed, tired. I'd find myself being depressed, tired many times, and I'm not going to say I'm perfect now. I still feel that sometimes, rarely, extremely rarely. And when it comes, I feel like it's a lot more challenging now. But I'm so conditioned to seeing the positive and knowing what to do, distracting myself, either painting, reading, writing, studying the cards, creating a podcast. I'm not a professional with this. I just like venting, and I hope that this somehow guides you and helps you understand yourself and where the energies are. For those that ask me, for those that are curious on what my religion is, because growing up I was really religious. Growing up I was Catholic. Something that I'll never forget, because I think it was one of the most fulfilling emotions I received growing up, when I would hear my Tio Paco, just preach to all of us, and plus 30 other people in one house, and we'd have a potluck, pozole, or arroz and fricase de pollo. You know, my grandpa was a famous Cuban chef, so he'd get down in the kitchen. My grandma would help, of course. But my tío Paco would, you know, he would get us all together for cenáculos and just read the Bible. And us girls, us younger little girls, we'd sing songs, you know, between intermissions, and it was beautiful. I would see how people would listen to him, and I was so young, but I understood. I understood the emotions that were being in place, and I loved it. You know, but then you grow up, things happen, people pass away, and things change. I like to say I'm an omnist now. An omnist is one who believes in all religions. If you have a religion, I believe in that. I respect that. I don't judge over any religions. Who am I to judge? It's like Stevie Nicks. Who am I to keep you down? I'm a horrible singer. Just kidding. I love singing. But it's true. Who am I to keep you down? And that's what I believe in. I find religion beautiful. I think they all have truth, you know. I believe in science as well. Some people think science is a religion. There's Scientology, which kind of freaks me out, but not enough to keep me away. I think it kind of scares me because growing up I was you know, guided to believe that science wasn't entirely you know, wasn't entirely accepted because of religion, you know. So I think that's why it kind of freaks me out, because there's a part of me that's like, I can see how science can be dangerous, but I think that way of thinking is what keeps us small, keeps us closed, and keeps us from growing, you know. I see a utopia one day here on Earth. I see it. I believe it. I feel like, who knows when it's going to be, but I know it's going to happen, where through tribulation, utopia will rise. Because I think people are waking up. People are waking up to the truth, and they're seeing how this is a rat race. They're seeing how this is the matrix. And sometimes all you can do is just try to be happy, right? Try to ignore it all and just be happy. Okay. No judgment. I personally thrive and aim to being the ultimate that I can be, in hopes of it being enough inspiration for those around me. I'm not really sure where I'm getting at with all of this, but this is my first video, and I just hope that it helped somehow, because this isn't my last one. This is only the beginning. I'm planning to upload many of these because it's so easy. Of course, I'll still be busy working and reading, and, you know, also spending time with those that I love. I'll be juggling it all, but this is too fun to ever stop. I think this is part of my calling. I'm not going to drop everything for this because that's silly. I'm not confident enough to drop all of it for this. I have to keep myself busy. I know this is part of it though. I know this is part of my calling, and that's why I'm doing it, because there's moments where I'm up at night and I'm just like, gosh, there's so much I have to say. And that's why I post, and that's why I, on my tarot page, if you don't know that page, I'll post it down on the description. But that's why I, offer readings. That's why I take the time to type these 2 to 3 pages of readings, and it's to each person, and I like it. I love it. And my boyfriend, it's like, you're doing all of that, like, for free? You're doing all of that for free. Like if it's a drag. And I tell him, I'm like, I enjoy it. It's not free forever, but because ultimately my time will be, will be important to the point where I'll need resources in return for my time. You know what I mean? But I don't need that right now. I feel like right now I just have to use the platform that I have, the resources that I have, to give back. The resources that I have, the gifts that I have, the intuitions that I have, the abilities I have to just give back. Like my yoga instructor used to say in high school, Miss Donovan, Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu, which means, may all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may my actions contribute to the happiness of everyone around me. Now, that's not the exact definition, it's a summarized version, but the reason why I remember it so clearly, it's because we would chant it after each exercise, and she would, after we would chant it, she would say the definition right after each time, and it just stuck. It was beautiful, spending a whole, I think, like a whole 40 minutes of just intense yoga. Seeing people around you sweat, seeing people around you struggle with their minds and their bodies, and just trying to breathe all as one. It was beautiful. And at the end, to chant that was the cherry on top. I love you guys. I'm excited for this. I have to get back to finishing a couple of more readings for the day. And you'll hear from me soon. Have a great rest of your day. Stay aware, stay grounded, stay balanced. And for those who are grounded already, stay balanced. I am here for you. If you have any questions or comments, you can drop them down below, or you can direct message me on Instagram. That would be down in the description as well. Thank you for your time.